Hello, and welcome to Rethinking Our History, where we seek to shed a light on events that have been forgotten and covered up, and to make us all question how much do we really know about our history? I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian, and we are here to reveal all the sordid details of history that have been swept under the rug. Get ready to get angry, be curious, and maybe have a laugh or two as we rethink our history.
Hello, friends.
Hey guys.
Jesus Christ, what? Y'all see what I'm married to over here? Thanks for joining us for another lesson, number 66. Get your kicks on Route 66.
Yeah.
I did recently say I needed a break from 2 multi-parters, but here we are again with another fucking multi-parter.
And I'm still sick.
And he's still sick, but he got antibiotics today, so
Yeah.
he will survive.
That's what I needed.
We are going to go way, way back in time. Way the motherfucking way back in time. To look at a series of events that has lasting effects that can still be felt today, because have we ever really stopped crusading? I feel like we're still crusading today in like Gaza,
Kinda, yeah.
Palestine,
I'm sure, yeah.
Iran,
And that's what they say, right? They're doing it because of religion.
From 1095 to 1291, the Catholic Church launched a war against the Muslim world in an attempt to capture what they believed to be the Holy Land. Any place that they believed Jesus had been became a site that they were willing to kill for.
That's gotta be weird.
What?
Like, well, he stood there. That is my land.
Right. It's fucking stupid. Do people not realize how stupid that sounds?
Right.
Jesus was there, and we worship him, so that is our land. What?
Because he was there.
Because he stood there.
Tis was his home.
He wept there. They put his body there.
He took a poop there.
The holy shithole. The holy shithole. All right. In 395, the Roman Empire divided into western and eastern parts. By 476, the Western Empire had been fractured further into smaller kingdoms, while the Eastern Empire, which is also known as the Byzantine Empire, held fast. Definitely know that name, don't we?
Yeah.
That was until the 7th century when the Islamic Caliphate began to grow. In 638, Jerusalem fell to Caliphate Umar during a Muslim holy war. In 711, the Iberian Peninsula was captured by Muslims. Under their rule, Christians were a protected but subordinate class. While Muslim leadership was unified about ideology, they became fractured over leadership. The Shah branch believed the leader should come from the descendants of Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law Ali, while the Sunni branch rejected this claim. By the mid-900s, 3 rival caliphates had emerged. The Umayyads in Muslim Spain, the Shiite Fatimids in Egypt, and the Abbasids in the Middle East. To some in the Caliphate, Western Europe was a source of slaves and resources. I see why they were so gung-ho about enslaving people too. They said they did it to us, let's do it to them.
Right.
That's not how that works, folks. And that's why everybody's worried about brown and black people getting control, because they're like, oh, what if they do it to us? Kendrick Lamar already said it. They not like us. But between 950 and 1070, there were droughts and cold spells that led to widespread famine, and that would lead to migration. This would lead to interfaith conflict that led to the destruction of holy sites. Oh, excuse me. Beginning in the 1040s, nomadic tribes of Turkomans began to disrupt the Middle East. In 1055, leader Tugril I of Seljuk clan joined the Abbasid Caliphate with permission from Caliph al-Qaim. Al-Qaim.
Sure.
There's like lots of apostrophes and little like doodads in his name, so I'm like, I don't know. Turgel's nephew Alf Arslan defeated the Byzantines at the 1070 Battle of Manzikert, giving Turkomans access to Anatolia. This gave rise to the Seljuk Empire, which was a loose federation of Seljuk princes, Turkoman warlords, and Arab emirs. As the Byzantine Empire began to lose control, Armenian and Greek strongmen took control of their cities and fortresses.
So wait, this is like the same area as
The empire.
the Ottoman Empire,
This is before the Ottoman Empire.
but before it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty much like it's like the Crusades happen and then the Ottomans retaliated because of the Crusades and now we're retaliating again and it's just a never-ending fucking cycle
Right.
and I'm so over it.
So like,
But yes, this is the same like Western Europe, Asia, Middle East, it's all the same area.
so like when you're thinking about like King Arthur, Knights of the Round Table, and like all that medieval stuff with castles, like catapults.
Yeah.
You're thinking this area specifically in the world.
Kinda, yeah.
That's wild.
Although King Arthur is technically from Wales, but yeah.
Right.
Which I have 4% in me. So what up, my Welsh peeps?
Makes me want to go visit like that whole area.
Oh yeah.
Like all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so fascinated.
Like most of Europe and like North Africa and like
yeah, and it's like so crazy too, because like with this podcast now, we'd be able to go there and be like, yo, that one Sultan dude killed all these people.
yeah.
There were 20,000 dead bodies lined up and impaled in here. What?
Sorry, guys.
And people are just like selling apples and stuff, like crazy. As we get into the later half of the 10th century, central authority in Western Europe was weakening, leading to local lords taking control. They would have heavily fortified castles and armored knights and were constantly warring with each other over land. So yeah, exactly. Like if you're like me into fantasy novels where there's like knights and kings and all that shit, this is it.
This is where it came from.
This is it.
Yeah.
In an attempt to protect church property and groups who were unarmed and not part of these conflicts, the church launched the Peace of God movement and threatened to excommunicate anyone who offended it.
Sounds like a cult.
As it was the 900s, fear of eternal damnation in hell was a real fear for these people.
Right.
Because science wasn't a thing, technology wasn't a thing. They didn't know why shit was the way it was. All they had was God.
Pretty much.
This is where we see...
He said to go kill him.
Mm-hmm. This is where we see confession and penance become a regular practice in Christian faith, as sinners
kill him.
were expected to confess their sins to a priest and do the penance he sets forth. This led to thousands of Christians attempting the journey to Jerusalem, leading to an increased attacks on these pilgrims. In 1000, such a weird fucking year to say.
1,000 years of our Lord.
In the year 1000, a warm period swept across Western Europe, leading to economic and population growth. Within 100 years, Italian merchants pulled ahead of Muslim and Jewish merchants as the leading force in Mediterranean trade. In 1031, Muslim Spain fractured into smaller kingdoms that were unable to defend themselves from the expansion of the Christian states. They were given defense by the Almoravids from the Maghreb Maghreb region. Maghreb region.
Mhm.
I told you, lots of fucking names in this one from many different.
I heard somebody talking about it where like they said that like the knights of the Crusades were like basically just brutal motherfuckers that like
They weren't great.
just did a bunch of crazy shit.
They weren't great.
Right.
In southern Italy, Norman warriors founded principalities and captured Muslim Sicily by 1091. Before we get into the First Crusades, let's take a quick look at something called the just war theory. From Wikipedia, quote, a doctrine also referred to as a tradition of military ethic that aims to ensure that a war is morally justifiable through a series of criteria, all of which must be met for a war to be considered just, end quote.
Civil rights.
Now, that is for those of us who believe there is any justifiable reason for war. Trying to distract people from the Epstein files is not one, FYI.
Yeah, no. Now, well, like, modern day, there is no good reason for war. Can't we all just fucking get along?
I think there is justifiable reasons for war, but the reasons that we're bombing Iran is not fucking one of them right now.
Well,
and it's literally just to distract from the Epstein files.
So, like, World War II, we were fighting against genocide, right? That's probably one of the only worthy ones that I could see now.
I mean, if somebody wanted to bomb us right now and start another world war, it would be justified in my eyes. Because look at what the fuck our president's doing.
Right.
One nuke to Washington. That's all it would take. I keep saying that. I'm so on a list, and you know what? I'm okay with that.
What was it in Mars Attacks? Like, oh no, they killed Congress.
For real, when they're like, oh, can you take, yeah, right over there, the motherfucker's right there, right there, right there. Like, we're all like Independence Day, like painting a fucking bullseye on the White House. Right there. It should surprise no one that the Christian church developed their own just war theory. That, alongside with the popularity of pilgrimage to the quote unquote Holy Land, created a context to justify people being armed for the journey. During this time, the church was growing in power, and the papacy was able to use fear of sin to justify a war. The first pope who planned a war against the Turkomans was Gregory VII in 1074, though it was never actually enacted. He's like, I'm going to plan this war, but then it never happened.
What if we can use Jesus for a war?
Okay. And yet today, our pope today, and I say our pope, I ain't even fucking Catholic, but I claim him, is like this orange buffoon.
Yeah.
In
Popes, man.
Pope Leo, is that the one we got now? Pope Leo?
Yeah. Back then.
From Chicago, boy.
Yeah, but that back then, can you imagine back then?
Honestly,
like,
Pope Leo, I think you have a justifiable war right here. Let's get some crusades in the U.S. going, please. I sacrifice myself as tribute. Dang. Pope Leo, I'm calling for crusades. Please.
She just became Catholic.
Oh, you know what? Let me make sure. I'll just make sure I mute my computer now that I think about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Your dingle hopper all the way in?
Yeah, it's in.
Okay. In July of 19...
That was echoey. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got to remember to mute my damn computer every once in a while.
I'll make the, hey, guys.
Hey, guys. Yeah.
Hey, guys.
In July of 1095, Pope Urban began a tour of France that ended with the Council of Clermont. On November 27th, while at the council, the Pope announced a war against the Turkistan. I think Turkomans. I think my computer, I wasn't paying attention when I spell checked that word. It might be Turkistan, though. I don't know. He also urged military support from those gathered, offering spiritual rewards in return. In the following months, the Pope set about having more councils in France and the set date of the attack and set the start date of the attack to be August 15th. As only those who had been present at the Council of Clermont knew of the impending attack, much of Western Europe was unaware of what was to take place. Pope Urban was hoping to have an army of only skilled warriors, but once word got out, common folk flocked together to get the chance to fight for the church. Word was spread, namely by a fellow known as Peter the Hermit, who went to areas the Pope had avoided, preaching about removing pagans from the Holy Land.
So that's what the tarot card is talking about.
I
Peter
don't think so.
the Hermit.
He attracted thousands of common folk as well as a few nobles to the cause. Beginning in March, troops were sent out to the front lines. Some 20,000 troops marched through towns, threatening the local population to get provisions. King Coleman of Hungary gave them access to his markets, but as they passed through the border town of Zemun, they plundered it. In June, they passed into Byzantine territory and continued their looting and raiding, which caught the attention of the empire. This led to imperial raids that killed a lot of troops. King Coleman also laid waste to a host of 50,000 on Hungary's western front.
Jeez.
The events of this attack on the Turkomans and the march leading up to it would become known as the People's Crusade, though it was swiftly ended by various empires and their much larger forces. It would not be until August of 1096 that nobles became involved in the crusade, with the first to set off being Hugh of Vermandois, brother of King Philip I of France. Lots of kings. Lots of kings. Troops who had reached Constantinople were having small battles with the emperor's men. The emperor wanted an oath from the crusaders before he allowed them to travel to Anatolia. While Seljuk was distracted, the crusaders and Byzantines captured Nicaea in June of 1097 and marched on towards Antioch. 40,000 crusaders reached Antioch in October of 1097, and I just gotta say that every time I say Antioch, all I can think of is Antioch Baptist Church out on Ironduff because I once did a lock-in there, and every time I say Antioch, that's all I can think of. And I'm gonna tell you right now, folks, don't let your kids go to a church lock-in because they're like, "We're gonna spend the night worshiping Jesus." No, they're gonna spend the night worshiping each other's tonsils is what's gonna happen. Case in point, don't do it. Um, they reached Antioch in October of 1097 and began a long siege of the city. During the siege, Baldwin of Bologna, I know it's not Bologna, it's like Boulogne or something, I don't know, took 100 knights and, along with help from the Armenians, captured Edessa and founded the first Crusader state, the county of Edessa, in March of 1098. Seljuk general Kerboga gathered 40,000 soldiers in Iraq, but arrived after the Crusaders had taken the city through collusion with a guard. They had massacred the entire Muslim population as well as some of the Christians. Despite famine, disease, and desertion thinning their ranks, the Crusaders still defeated Kerboga at the Battle of Antioch on June 28, 1098. That summer, an intense heat wave swept the region alongside a plague. Plague, heat, not a great combination.
No.
This claimed the life of Bishop Adhemar of Lepui, sorry, bringing the march on Jerusalem to a halt, but not for long, as Bohemond of Toronto persuaded the other leaders to recognize his rule of Antioch, thus establishing a new Crusader state, the Principality of Antioch.
Canadians.
Canadians.
Yeah, you said of Toronto.
Yeah, but it's it's like Taranto, Taranto, not Toronto. It's Taranto,
Gotcha.
Taranto. Maybe it's Taranto. Get the in, like Patty got heading to school. In November, the march resumes under pressure from the locals. They reached Jerusalem in June 7th, 1099, and laid siege to the city. For a moment, the siege came to a standstill. That was until craftsmen from Genoese, Genoese?
Genosha.
Hmm, no, not Genovia. Um, Genos? No, it's like Genoese, I think, arrived to build siege towers. Siege towers
1099. That was like 1,000 years before I graduated.
was literally 1,000 years before you graduated high school.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, 1099, 1999. No, 900. It was 900 years before you graduated. It would have been 999 if it was 1,000.
Right.
With these towers, the Crusaders captured the city on July 15th and spent the next 2 days slaughtering her population and looting its resources. Yeah, Crusaders, man.
Did you know there's a 2022 movie called The Crusades? It's about 3 kids. Looks like a scary movie.
No, but it sounds interesting. Godfrey of Bouillon.
I'm gonna click on it.
Godfrey of Bouillon was elected Jerusalem's first Western ruler, and Arnulf of Coquise was named the first Latin patriarch. Al-Afdal raised an army of around 2,000 Egyptians to try and recapture the city, but the roughly 1,100 Crusaders defeated them at the Battle of Ascalon. After this, most of the Crusaders went home feeling their vows had been fulfilled. This left Godfrey with just 3,000 knights and 2,000 foot soldiers. Italian Merchant Republic The Italian Merchant Republic had pledged naval aid but needed time to prepare. A fleet of 120 ships under the command of Archbishop Dambert arrived in September of 1099. I want to say 1999 so bad. Upon his arrival, he disposed Arnulf, and he himself was installed as the patriarch on Christmas Day. This threw me for a loop because I was like, what the fuck is a Doge of Venice? And is it pronounced Doge because it's Italian? I don't know. But Vito Michael Doge of Venice arrived shortly after with more than 200 ships. Godfrey unexpectedly passed away on July 18th, 1100, and his followers persuaded Baldwin of Boulogne to take his place. Before Baldwin left, he gave Edessa to his cousin Baldwin of Bjork. Sorry. I repeat shit so I can sound it out, people. Leave me alone. Then took control of Jerusalem and forced them to crown him king on Christmas Day. Within 9 months, he had captured Arsuf and Caesarea and defeated Egyptian forces at the First Battle of Ramla. Once Antioch had been captured, Crusaders sent word to senior Catholic clerks urging them to rally oath breakers. In December of 1100, the new Pope, Pope Pascal II, launched a new crusade, mainly to free Bohemond, who had been captured by the Danishmends, and to reinforce Christian presence in the Holy Land.
What were oath breakers?
You
Just
know,
dudes that like break their oaths.
I was wondering, I think I did not look it up. I'm going to right now. I can't spell crusade. I've been spelling crusade all week. Why can't I spell it? Y'all ignore the screaming in the back.
Scary baboon.
Yeah, Patty's playing Scary Baboon on the VR.
You know, I bet he just paid some dudes to like go threaten other dudes.
So yeah, pretty much. Like strike breakers, but for the crusade. Um, uh, The term Earthbreakers refers to a specific type of crusade that was launched against those who violated their vows or oaths, particularly in the context of the Crusades.
Gotcha.
So if you violated your oath as a crusader, I guess, I don't know.
They sent the Oathbreakers out of you.
Hey, send them after you, boy.
Kill
Fucking church ain't playing. Dude, oh, pause, sidetrack. Did you see who played at Coachella?
you.
I haven't really been paying attention to anything with Coachella because it feels very dystopian, like Coachella going on over here and we're bombing Iran over here. Don't love it.
Right.
But I was doom scrolling on Facebook or Instagram, and up pops the Pope's DJ. Let that phrase sink in. The Pope has a DJ.
All right.
I said, well, he is from Chicago.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. The Pope has a DJ, and he was at Coachella. Fucking love it. The first to set out was a group led by Anselm, Archbishop of Milan, leaving Lombardy in September of 1100. Their target was Baghdad or Egypt, but that didn't mean they couldn't attack other locations along the way, such as when they attacked the this word.
Thought you were gonna say dad bod for a second.
No, he doesn't come up in this. When they attacked the Blachernay Palace in Constantinople before heading to Anatolia. In early 1101, they were joined by French and German forces. These were led by William the Ninth of Antic Aquitaine. Aquitaine. There we go. William the Second of Nevers, Welf the First of Bavaria, the widowed Marchioness Ida of Austria, and Archbishop Themo of Salzburg. In June, they reached Constantinople and met with Raymond of St. Gilles. He and Stephen of Blois tried to warn them against their plan to attack Anatolia, but they ignored his warnings. Again, lots of names. Sorry. They were joined by other crusaders as they advanced into the city, but were defeated by a coalition of Turcoman rulers at the Battle of Mersavian in August. William of Nevers led an army south, which was defeated at Heraclea, with the widow Ida vanishing, giving rise to legends of her being the mother of powerful Turcoman ruler Zengi. The Crusade of 1101, or the Crusade of the Faint-Hearted, is, as it is also known, showed the world that the Crusaders were not invincible. Those who did survive, such as William of Aquitaine, Weef, and Stephen, fled the area, some regrouping later to attack and capture other cities. Stephen even reached the Holy Land, where he died in the Second Battle of Ramla on May 7th, 1102.
So the Islamic opposition got the better of them that year.
Mhm. And they seem to, yeah, it kinda goes back and forth a little bit, but it feel like you'll kinda see that the Muslims tend to get a little bit of a foothold, more of a foothold each time it, like, swings back in their favor. I don't know. Bohemond of Antioch was able or wait, Bohemond of Antioch was able to gain his freedom by paying for it. He supported Baldwin II in his attack on Haran, but they were defeated by Jikirmish, the governor of Mosul. Mosul. Nope, that's Mos Eisley. Never mind. Were you thinking it too?
Guido shot first.
Bohemond left Tancred in charge of Antioch while he went on a quest to get support from the west in the autumn of 1104. Around this time, Pope Pascal, every time I say that name, Pedro Pascal pops into my head, named Bishop Bruno of Sengi as papal legate, legate,
Papa Legate,
yes, papal legate.
Papa Emeritus.
Hi, Tobias. He did this so that the bishop would promote a crusade in France. Bohemond decided it would be a good time to attempt to invade the Byzantine Empire from Italy under the justification of heresy.
Hmm.
Oh no. In October of 1107, he besieged the fortress of Dyrrhachium, but in the end, he would have to accept defeat. Alexos had reinforced the defenses, allied himself with the Venetians, and with the aid of Turcoman mercenaries, blockaded Bohemond's army. Bohemond would withdraw and accept Byzantine rule over Antioch in the 1108 Treaty of Devil. That's Devol, not Devil. Devil.
This is giving me some good inspiration for punk rock music. You think
Yeah.
like Crusaders
Hmm.
for a punk rock band
That'd be good.
and dress like, I don't know, decomposing dead
Or just like dressed in armor.
Crusaders in armor.
Everybody has like their own helmet. You never see their face. Kind of
That'd be
like how
cool as hell, man.
Tobias always has makeup
Nobody
on.
steal that.
TM. King Baldwin I of Jerusalem expanded his kingdom with aid from the Frisians, Genoese, and Venetians. Those allies got trade privileges while Baldwin captured the coastal towns of Acre in 1104, Beirut and Sidon in 1110. Baldwin's rule was strengthened when Ducac of Damascus died. Ducac's successor, this one I was like, I have to say this name so many times. I'm going to say Togtekin joined an Egyptian invasion, but they were defeated at the Third Battle of Ramla in 1105. Raymond of St. Gilles began the siege of Tripoli in 1103, but would not live to see it come to an end as he died just 2 years later. His son Bernard of Toulouse and cousin William Jordan had a conflict that was resolved by King Baldwin at the Council of Tripoli shortly before the city was captured by the Franks in July of 1109. William was killed, leaving Bertrand the sole ruler of the county of Tripoli. Sorry, her screams jar me sometimes. The fall of Tripoli to the Crusaders was alarming to the Muslim world, so much so that Seljuk Sultan Muhammad I Tapar ordered Maldud, governor of Mosul, to invade. He attempted to between 1110 and 1113, but all of his attempts failed. His successor, uh, Quesunquar, also attempted to seize control of Edessa in 1115, but was also defeated. Also in 1115, Togtekin sheltered his relative I- Ig- Ilgahazi, which angered the Sultan. Togtekin allied himself with Roger and Antioch, who had taken over from Tancred, and Roger defeated the Sultan's army at the Battle of Sarman on September 14th, 1115. Baldwin of Jerusalem died while on campaign against Egypt on April 2nd, 1118. His cause of death was an illness, and he was replaced by Baldwin of Bork, who gave control of Edessa to his relative, Jocelyn I. Roger of Antioch was demanding tribute from the Alpins, who turned to Ilgaz, Ilghazi for help. Sorry, guys. Words.
Roger.
Oh my god. Roger's the easiest fucking one in this whole
Roger
story.
the shrubber.
Just Roger.
What does he
Like,
want?
okay, Roger.
A shrubbery.
Ilghazi, along with help from Totekin, invaded Antioch and defeated Roger at the Battle of the Field of Blood
Holy shit!
on June 28th, 1119.
There's the first song.
Yeah, the Battle of the Field of Blood.
Field of Blood.
In this battle, Roger, along with almost 4,000 soldiers, died,
Wow.
and Baldwin II assumed control for Bohemond II.
Can you imagine what that looks like? It's like
40,000 dead bodies.
right?
No,
Just
it's too
like
much.
bleeding out from being stabbed with like swords or something.
I mean,
They didn't have guns back then, did they?
I've seen what that God no.
Hold on, let me see.
I've seen what that looks like in like movies and stuff, and I can't imagine what it's like in real life. And the smell,
Ooh.
the smell,
A couple of days later, the crows get to
and
it.
the sound of like people dying and bodies doing weird shit. And oh, terrible. I think like 1800s, 1600s. I don't know.
Let's see. The 10th century. So, what's the 10th century?
900s. The 900s.
So right around then.
Yeah.
So they did have like
primitive types of firearms.
It said it involved bamboo and later metal tubes that shot flames and projectiles. So maybe they did have like cannons and shit.
Interesting.
Oh, in China in the 10th century, the fire lance, a spear-mounted tube filled with gunpowder and shrapnel.
Fire lance.
Yep.
It's a lance.
It doesn't look like the Europeans had it until the 14th century, though. It says 14th century Europe, gunpowder technology spread through Eurasia. By the 1300s, hand cannons were used in Europe. So maybe not. Maybe it was just the Chinese.
Yeah, Asia's where gunpowder
'Cause, like,
started.
Yeah.
So, all right, in
So, yeah.
1120,
Just a bunch of people laying around stabbed.
Jerusalem's leaders met at the Council of Nablus. They could have worked on stopping the famine or even how to better train their military, but no. Instead, they had to mind everyone else's business and make anal sex and sex with Muslims illegal.
All right.
Like, listen, if you don't want to take it up the butt, that's fine, but that's where the prostate's located,
And
okay?
then years later, Aleister Crowley.
Oh my God.
But stuff.
Yeah. They also approved the formation of a knightly confraternity where the members would take vows of poverty, chastity, obedience, and protection of pilgrims.
That's not all they were taking.
This was the first military order and would later become known as the Knights Templar.
Bunch of guys sleeping together.
Listen, the Greco-Romans are the most homoerotic fucking shit, okay? It's
like,
how would you say?
Later on, we know the Catholic Church, so come on, think about them back then. Like,
I mean, you know they were doing butt stuff.
You know it.
They were like, we know it's illegal, but
they were like, this is so wrong. I like it.
Although they probably weren't doing butt stuff, they were probably doing like mouth stuff because butt stuff was illegal, and they were like knights of the church.
This is true.
But I mean, there's still other holes that they can utilize. You know what I mean?
Stick it in his ear.
I've been with some dudes that I wouldn't even feel it in my ear. Anyways, how would you say AQ?
AQ? Fake you?
AQ. It's like the letter A and the letter Q.
Ac.
Axe-Sunquar was able to recapture much territory from the Franks, uniting Apollo and Musul before he was assassinated in 1126. The same year, Bohemond took control of Antioch, but found himself in conflict with Jocelyn I of Edessa. In 1127, the Turco commander Zengi became the governor of Musul. Baldwin II set about preparing for an attack against Damascus. To do so, he sent messengers to Europe to raise troops and to find a husband for his heir, Melisende, She became betrothed to Fulk the Fifth of Anjou. Fulk. This is my husband, Fulk. 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 Yeah, I'd have way too much fun with his name.
So I'm looking at a thumbnail right here. It says causes and consequences of the Crusades, and it's got a picture of like a Christian and an Islam dude, and like when the Christian guy is talking about black lettering, the hand style black lettering,
Mhm.
and the Muslim dude's got it in Arabic over there, and I'm like, so calligraphy was a cause of it,
I think language,
right?
maybe. Language was a cause of it.
One person was like, no, it should be in Arabic. No, it should be in black
Well, I
lettering.
mean, yeah, it's religious bullshit.
But dude's holding an apple, so I think they're talking about an apple.
Like it's the same.
Maybe it's the math.
It's the same. It's the same concepts and the same ideology,
But they
just in
just
two different languages.
do it in a different way.
It's like you guys are worshiping the same creator.
Right.
Like you're literally worshiping. You got
It's the
Allah over
same
here and
word.
God over here. It's the same.
In two different languages.
It's the same thing. And y'all are just fighting like fucking idiots. I can't with these people.
It was really interesting though, because I wouldn't think that calligraphy would be a cause of it, but
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
So yeah, she gets
Like calligraphy.
betrothed, and then in May of 1128, Toad-Tekin of Damascus died and was succeeded by his son Buri. Buri.
There's a lot of interesting
Buri.
names.
The names are just
Fuck.
Folk. In May of speaking of, in May of 1129, Folk arrived and married Melisende. The Crusade of 1129 had around 60,000 warriors, though it was not approved by the church. They invaded Damascus in November, but after their foragers were routed, the main force withdrew from the attack. Bohemond II was killed in a skirmish in February of 1130. His widow, Alice, another just like, thank you, ma'am, Alice, sought power with Zengi's support, but her father, Baldwin II of Jerusalem, assumed regency for her daughter, Constance. Baldwin died on August 21st, 1131, and was succeeded by Fulk and Melisende. Fulk also secured the regency in Antioch by defeating Alice's allies. In 1136, Fulk arranged the marriage of Constance to Raymond of Poitiers of France. Fulk died on November 10th, 1143, in a hunting accident, and his widow refused to share power with their son, Baldwin III. She said, "Fuck you, you little shit." The early 1140s would see Zengi attempt to gain dominance over his Muslim rivals, mainly the Artuqids in Iraq. Artuqid Prince Kara Arslan made a deal with Jocelyn II where he traded land for assistance against Zengi. Hearing of this deal, Zengi attacked Edessa and captured it on December 26, 1144. Zengi was assassinated in 1146, and Jocelyn briefly controlled Edessa, briefly because Zengi's son, Nur al-Din, expelled him from the city, killing the fleeing Christians and destroying the city's fortifications. He was then able to secure a marriage alliance with Unar of Damascus. When word of the fall of Edessa reached Pope Eugenius III, he responded with the Quantum Predecessors Decree on December 1st, 1145. This decree would grant, quote, remission of sins, protection of property, and debt suspension to those who took the cross, end quote. King Louis VII of France was plagued by guilt over a massacre in a church and declared he would lead a crusade. Cistercian Abbot Bernard of Clairvaux was able to persuade French nobles to join the crusade. Bernard then went on a preaching tour across France and Germany. In a Christmas sermon, Bernard was able to persuade Conrad III of Germany to take the cross. And when Saxon lords refused to quit their war against the pagan winds, he convinced the Pope to issue another decree, the Divinia Dispensatoni. It's fucking word. I also don't speak Latin. In April of 1147. This made the Windish campaign a part of the Crusades, and it would become known as the First Northern Crusade. Despite noble leadership, the Crusaders were defeated by the Windish prince Niklot. And I was gonna look up where is Wind? Wind, the Kingdom of Wind, because I'm like I haven't heard of the Winds before. WEN. Yes, I only wanna search for the Kingdom of the WEND, not the IND. I don't care about the movie. Oh, it was a Germanic tribe. Oh, they're still around. Maybe.
So they did use catapults
Yeah?
too. I'm looking at a lot of the art, a lot of the
Yeah.
paintings that were made about the Crusades.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
There was like a bunch of them on the Wikipedia page. The Crusaders next set sail for the Holy Land in May and June of 1147. An interesting feature of this crusade was the presence of women. King Louis VII was joined by his wife Eleanor, while logs from the fleet mentioned other wives. There were around 10,000 crusaders, only 150 ships that took sail. They left Afonso. I want to say Alfonso, but there's no L there, so Afonso, the first of Portugal, when he successfully seized. Did I say they left? They helped Afonso, the first of Portugal, when he successfully seized Lisbon in October of 1147, and Raymond Berenger the fourth of Barcelona when he captured Tortosa in December of 1148. Only a small portion of the original fleet would actually reach the Holy Land. The German army guided pilgrims along the route of the First Crusade through Hungary and the Balkans. Emperor Manuel Komnenos was afraid of being attacked and made a deal with the Sultan of Rome, Musaad I. Roger, another Roger of Sicily, invaded the Balkans, and the Germans crossed into Anatolia without the French. This would be a mistake, as they were defeated by Musaad's forces on October 25th, 1147, at the Battle of Dorylaeum. The French arrived in Constantinople the same month, followed by battles. Bishop Godfrey of Langres suggested Louis capture the city, but he decided to march on Anatolia. Once he reached Antalya, Louis and his kings sailed to Syria, and those left behind either deserted, died, or were enslaved. Which, like, wow, King Louis. Not great.
So a side note, real quick.
Side note.
I clicked on one of the paintings that I was looking at, and it took me to a site, GT Health, Wise Endocrine and Obesity Care.
Got to be careful with them links, man.
So it's a site to sign up for a healthcare thing, like become a patient. But like it has on the home page the Crusades 1090 to 1291, and it gives like a history of the Crusades with a little stamp down at the bottom from Dr. Gerta Tashko, MD. It's history. His history notes
What does that got to do with anything?
on his healthcare site
What?
where he's trying to get people to like.
Okay.
It's just weird.
King Louis reached Antioch on March 19th, 1148. Raymond of Porto suggested an attack on Apelio and Shizar, but Louis decided to keep going towards Jerusalem. Conrad of Germany joined Louis in Acre, where they held the Council of Acre. Here they decided to attack Damascus on July 24th. However, after Damascus raids and words of Nur al-Din advancing on them with reinforcements, the Crusaders abandoned their plan for a siege. I guess Nur al-Din was like, oh, badass. People were like, we don't want to fuck with him. We began to see a shift in the battles during this time as the Muslim world began to find unity. Raymond of Portos was killed on June 29th, 1149, at the Battle of Inab. Nur al-Din captured Antioch, Antioch forces and destroyed Tortosa, while the Artuquids and Seljuk of Rome attacked the county of Edessa, capturing Jocelyn II. Raymond II of Tripoli was assassinated in 1151, and his son Raymond III took his place. In 1152, Baldwin III took control from his mother, Melisenda, and would capture Ascalon in 1153. He then arranged the marriage of Constance of Antioch to Renaud of Chatillon. Lots of arranging of marriages. Lots of arranging of marriages. This was the time when women were just seen as like a commodity.
Yeah.
And like, you're gonna marry that guy so we can like make a deal and go to war together, not because you actually love him. And if he treats you like shit, tough shit.
He's got cows.
He's got lots of
I'm
cows.
hungry.
He's got lots of soldiers, and I need to go fight this guy. That's like the old school version of like, hey, there's this like woman that wants to fight me, and her kid's trying to fight me. Can you come fight her kid? Have you seen those videos?
Mm-mm.
The next time I run across one, I will send it to you. But it's so funny. Like a mom or a dad will come in and be like, hey, like this parent out here is trying to fight me. Their kid that's your age is trying to get in it. I need you to come out here and fight this kid. And the kids are like, all right, like. One boy was like, "Oh, I've been waiting on this." It's like, God damn. Oh, that's what it makes me think of, though. Between 1154 and 1157, Nur al-Din was a busy man blockading Damascus, forcing Abak to withdraw and took control of Shezar. Though they had Terry of Flanders, a veteran of the First Crusades, helping them, the Franks were not able to recapture Shizar. Baldwin III died childless and therefore heirless on February 19th, 1163. His brother Almeric succeeded him, but only after his marriage to Angies of Courtenay was annulled.
All right.
I don't know what's up with that, but they were like, you can't be married to her and be king. Okay. Over in Antioch, Bohemond III took power and expelled his mother Constance. Almeric attempted to push into Egypt, but was blocked several times by Nur al-Din. In 1180 or 1169, the Fatimid Caliph al-Adid named Nur al-Din's general Shirkuh as vizier, and after he died, his nephew Saladin succeeded him.
Saladin.
All I can think is like salad in salad. That's how I kept having to say his name in my head when I was typing it, because you know I am phonetically, and it's one letter off from paladin, so that helped too. Almeric renewed the alliance with the Byzantine Empire, but the joint invasion of Egypt failed. In 1147, both Nur al-Din and Almeric died, leaving underage heirs Al no as Shilah and Baldwin IV. And it's really sad in the notes. They said the leper Baldwin IV, and I was like, do you need to point that out? Um, during his final years, Nur al-Din made the conquest of Jerusalem the main goal of jihad. Saladin continued Nur's legacy by taking Damascus in 1174, Aleppo in 1183, and got the submission of Is al-Din, the ruler of Mosul, in 1186. As early as 1176, the Caliph al-Mustadi suggested to Saladin that he restart the war against the Franks, but he decided to war with his Muslim rivals instead. That was until he conquered much of the Near East and needed a new target for his troops. And this is where we're going to end this episode this week, folks. Obviously, this will be a multi-parter, at least 2, maybe 3. I don't fucking know. I'm not going to do it next week. Next week, I'm actually going to cover a different topic that's been bouncing around in my head for a couple of weeks, and I need to get it out. So in 2 weeks, I'll get back to the Crusades. And so, what do you think so far, Bill?
It's kind of cool.
It's just a lot of
Killing.
fighting.
Yeah.
A lot of this guy's attacking this guy, and this guy's allying with this guy, but then this guy betrays him, so he's got to go over here and ally with this guy to attack him. And I'm like, God dang, man. Y'all doing too much. Doing the most.
Right.
Okay. All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope you guys have a good week, and we will see you guys later.
Be kind to each other.
Love you. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.